Welcome, my friends, to the Elo Hell Get Good tournament. We are now, I believe, in week 4 of our tournament as we get closer and closer to the end of Elo Hell Get Good's regular season. We have some GGEU action for you guys today. Sallad Leuf will take on LavaLillies in our first game with the intermediate tier being showcased today. What do you know about these two teams, Misfit?
Oh, well, both of these teams are now 4-2 in the standings. Both very solid teams all around. Bringing up Sallad Leuf first, you have a very solid tank line with Flygamer, Master Wum, and Techfish, all very good players. This team kind of likes their brawl comp quite a bit. Most of their players are favorites of characters like Rhine, Diva, some Doomfist, some Kree, Ana Lucio, stuff like that. So I would expect to see some stuff like that come out from them. And same for the LavaLillies. A lot of them prefer the more brawly style of play, so I would expect to see a nice classic brawl composition come out from both sides here.
Yeah, it'd be super cool. We have been seeing a little bit more dive and double shield compositions recently, so maybe just coming back to those old brawl compositions could be exciting to see, especially from these intermediate teams who usually are, they have the comfort picks of typical tank line of Ryan Zarya, and even the McCree is a very typical comfort pick in the intermediate tier. So, how do you think intermediate teams in particular and comfort picks? How do you think that kind of works out?
Well, I think you got to look at it as like the lower tiers are obviously going to have more variation than the higher tiers because meta is not as important in the lower tiers, and comfort picks can sometimes be better than the meta if you run it better. So, like, a Doomfist isn't really that great right now, but if you're running it better than you would run an Ashe Torb composition, then the Doomfist is going to get more value. So I think that is definitely going to see, like, comfort picks are definitely more impactful here in the intermediate division, and I would definitely expect to see teams use that as a secret weapon or, like, pocket picks. Which, to me, I enjoy that more. We get to see more variation than just double shield mirrors. So, yeah, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, and going into the first map, we have Oasis. Actually, fun fact, both of these teams listed Oasis as their preferred map choice for the control map, and we are going there first. So, based on Oasis as the map, do you think that kind of helps these teams with their brawl compositions?
Kind of. So, like, University, of course, is a very brawl-heavy map. Even back in, like, early, if you think back to, like, Owl Season 1, like, Oasis University they still ran brawl on it, even though Dive was king of the meta. So I would expect to see brawl on that map from both these teams for sure. But when you get into, like, City Center or Gardens, there's much more variation that you can see. I think brawl can work on Gardens, but on City Center, I think it's a no-go. I think you have to opt for a dive composition or the double shield composition that we're seeing a lot of. Just the high ground is just too beneficial there, and the brawl composition doesn't get a lot of value on it. So that would be my guess as to what we would see going forward.
All right, so when they are running these dive compositions, you've seen a lot of sort of variants of dive and the support combinations. What hero, in that main support position do you expect to see? The Mercy, the Brigitte, the Ana? What are you kind of expecting to see from the support lines in those dive compositions if we do see them?
Personally, I think Ana Brig is by far the best dive healer composition that you can go with right now. I think Brig, just being able to armor characters like Echo and Tracer, just makes them so impactful. Like, a Tracer with armor pack is effectively double health, and it's crazy what they can pull off when they have that extra health. I really don't see a reason not to run the Brig. Like, Lucio, as much as I love Lucio Overwatch, he's not very good right now, and the extra damage. Yeah, the extra damage he brings with his, like, water pistol is not really going to be that beneficial, as opposed to, like, a Tracer who has, like, double her usual HP thanks to an armor pack.
I don't think I've ever heard Lucio's weapon described as a water pistol before. I do like that.
Literally no damage.
I'm actually writing this down in my notebook. Lucio has water pistol. And we are about to head into our map of Oasis. It's going to be interesting to see which one of these maps we get first. It looks like we're going to have Gardens. So very different map compared to the other two. Usually you said we will see Dive on City Center and we'll see Brawl on University, but we'll see how it goes here on Garden. So as we wait to see what these teams decide to roll out with.
Yeah, and this is one of those maps in the game where I think a lot of things do have some viability. Like, dive compositions can be run here. Brawl works as long as you can, like, control the high ground and drop as a coordinated team. And of course, double shield is pretty much good everywhere. And especially on this map, because there's that, like, little high ground that you can abuse, and there's a lot of, like, angles you can play on this point. It does look like we will be seeing a brawl composition come out from Sallad Leuf, but it looks like LavaLillies are kind of running with a little something different. Looks like they will also be switching on to a brawl composition, so we got a classic Brawl v Brawl going into this first point.
Yeah, so Brawl versus Brawl. Gonna start off this. We see the Ryan Diva composition on both sides, so no Zarya, which is surprising on the side of LavaLillies because Zarya has some great synergy with the Doomfist pick that Espeon wants to run Ion. But on a Lucio versus Moira Lucio, that's kind of the difference we see so far.
Yeah, I'm not really liking the Ana with the Doomfist. Like, Moira is definitely better for the Doomfist because, like, you just need more healing with the Doomfist composition, so it wants to play so much faster than the other composition.
Yeah, both teams trying to fight for the high ground here on this top left. It looks like Sallad have the high ground currently and are just trying to control it for now. We'll see which one of these teams opts to go for the point. It looks like it will be LavaLillies trying to take possession of the point immediately. Nothing really going on here. Feeder dropping really low and Flygib getting into the back line, getting 2 kills. And the Reinhardt starting off the fight strong, and it looks like that Sallad will take possession in this first fight, but the fight's still going on here. LavaLillies trying to switch it around, but Potato gets another kill onto the main support, and I think this fight is just about to be over. Nothing really to be done. Not a boost thrown in there, but I think it's going to be first captured to Sallad.
Yeah, I do really think that Sallad has the better composition here. I would like to see a Zarya with what they have, but the Moira is very, very beneficial for the Doomfist because it gives him an easier place to come back to. He can get healed up much faster, and it can allow him to get in and out of a fight much cleaner than he can with the single target healing of the Ana. Also, this Ashe makes it really hard to push in here with that Dynamite as we see multiple targets burning on the side of LavaLillies. The Ashe is very good for point control, whereas the McCree kind of isn't.
Yeah, 30% of that Bob ultimate just builds up there with 1 Dynamite. Yeah, someone trying to go on the left-hand side to try and find some pickpocket. Here comes the Bob from Birdie. Gotta get the kill onto the main support again. And the support's come through with a couple of kills. The Bob gets one as well, and that's a quick fight from Sallad. It's all over there for LavaLillies.
Yeah, and once again, we go to like the Ashe pick versus the McCree pick. I really see the Ashe as a much more beneficial pick than the McCree here. More range, the high ground is a little bit better for you. You can get better angles on that Dynamite, and it's really hard to push into an Ashe that's hitting all her Dynamites. We really got to see Jasmine eating more of these Dynamites if they're going to have any chance here of getting in this fight cleanly.
Yeah, Jasmine is the only other ultimate apart from Soundbarrier that they have, so especially if you use that self-destruct, you're not in max, so you can't eat those dynamites. Speaking of self-destruct, here comes one from Master Worm, flanking going to the Earth Shadow, doesn't pick up much. Espeon going to the backline on low health to try and get a kill. Soundbarrier going off to keep the rest of that LavaLillies team alive. They're going up to the high ground, that's a huge shadow, but the Soundbarrier will prevent any kills. That's a melee ult from Master Worm to Missile Mage. Advantage again so far for Sallad in this fight.
Yeah, now we're approaching last fight territory here, and the LavaLillies kind of used all their ultimates. They have a self-destruct, but it's not a very impactful ultimate. And Birdie is going to have this Bob going into the next fight, so a very, very catastrophic situation here for LavaLillies. They're going to have to make something happen here. They're going to need a miracle if they want to take this point.
Yeah, they only have the self-destruct online, so Jasmine's going to have to hit a humongous Diva ultimate, and there's also ultimates coming in line for the opposition. Here comes the Dynamite from Birdie to try and build up that bomb. Joy's also almost got that coalescence, so we'll see how that goes. Fight starting to, get engaged here. Durex gets killed at Espeon, but Flygib goes down. The main tank is down for Sallad. Trying to play a little bit more aggressive here with the main tank is Master Worm. Here comes that bolt, that pitiful and crucial ultimate for the side of Sallad, and they will just completely wrap up Gardens and take the first point here on Oasis.
Yeah, I would have liked to see a little bit more of a commitment to a certain composition. Right now, there are kind of 2 brawl comps that are played the most, right? You have the McCree and you have the Doom Reaper, and they kind of split it with the Doom McCree there, and then they have the Ana. Like the Doomfist kind of felt out of place there. Espeon was putting in work on the Doomfist, but it just felt like there wasn't enough synergy between the Doom and the McCree. McCree wants to play a little bit slower, play for picks, and that is kind of how you play the McCree comp. You play slow, or you execute off the May wall, and that's kind of how you do it. Whereas the Doom Reaper comp just wants to pick a target and run it over. And because they kind of split their focus like that, I feel like they were a little bit too. They didn't have enough resources to really get done what the comp wanted to get done. Whereas the much more synergized comp of Sallad was able to take them down with ease.
Yeah, so we're seeing that Brigitte and Tracer combination you were talking about earlier with the dive composition on LavaLillies. I kind of like that adjustment myself. I love seeing the Brigitte play in this dive composition. It's kind of funny now how Brig helps dive instead of counters as we see Flygib get anti on that high ground. It's going to be difficult for them to finish off that kill, but he is going to go down. Espeon gets the kill, and it looks like It's advantage here for LavaLillies in this fight. Potato gets killed by Missile Mage on the Winston, and they will take that first capture and just round up that fight as quick as possible, as you see Birdie on the Ashe on the side going down.
Yeah, a bit of an unorthodox pick here to have the Doomfist rather than the Echo, but I don't hate it personally. The Brigida still helps the Doomfist a lot with the armor pack. The Tracer and Doomfist combo can be really scary at times because two armor pack DPS that just have so much burst potential can be really hard to deal with for a backline.
Yeah, Dudek's also making the switch over to the Brigida, so Brigida's on both sides. As actually he's chopping up a lot, so Misfit, why don't you take over?
Yeah, we see a very clean engage here from the LavaLillies. They will run in with the Doomfist and the Tracer, get a few kills early on, and they're able to clean up that fight really easily. As we get into this next fight, though, the ultimate advantage definitely has to go to the side of LavaLillies. Actually, they will give up their Doomfist ultimate. This is alright. They didn't really have anything to combo with it. They will have a Coalescence and a Shadow that they can push into this with, but there is a bomb and a pulse. There's actually two bombs on the side of LavaLillies as we push into this next fight. There's the bomb. We'll get both bombs come out at the same time actually, and both of them find respective values. The Diva Bomb doesn't really find anything, but it does help whittle down the Ryan Shield Forceman's position where he does take damage from the Pulse Bomb of Brianna, and that will be a quick fight win here for the dive defense. As we get close to this last fight here, where I really got to see more of a decision-making process from Sallad Leuf here. They're kind of indecisive of where they want to go. They keep going to this choke, and they keep just dying immediately. They need to have some more. I guess they need to have some more. I can't think of the word right now, but they need to decide where they want to go a lot faster. A lot of ults coming out here for both sides. The rally will come out for the offense here. And this is a very, very scrappy fight now. Every ability is just getting thrown around all over the place. Particle effects everywhere. There is a pick from Espeon onto the Brigida of Sallad Leuf, and that could be a very beneficial pick going forward. The High Noon doesn't find anything. Really bad. The Blizzard is coming online though for Potato, so that could be an easy fight winner if they are able to get it off. Brianna will find Fly Game, and that will be picks rolling in for the dive defense of LavaLillies. It looks like it's going to go their way here as we wrap things up.
Yeah, interesting round there for both teams. We see the dive composition from LavaLillies, take shape here and kind of counter Sallad Leuf. But Sallad Leuf looked dominant on that first round, but LavaLillies looked dominant on the second. What do you think heading into University is going to make the difference?
Well, I think we will see a return to the Brawl v Brawl that we saw on the first point. I think that will benefit. I think it will benefit Sallad Leuf a little bit more. They look a little bit better on it. But of course, on that defense or that attack there onto that point, they were very indecisive about where they wanted to go. They didn't really have the it might have been something in comms. It might have just been a strategy, or they didn't seem to know where they wanted to go, what they wanted to do. They were kind of just all right, let's try this and see what works. And the dive composition punished that really hard. We do see a double shield brawl coming out now for LavaLillies with the Moira Brigida. So it looks like they're going for really high sustain here. Probably playing for picks with the Doomfist and the Kree. Kind of an interesting composition that we don't really see a lot. We also have a May Doomfist coming out here for Sallad, which is another very unorthodox ball comp. Alright, we get into this first fight here. They're kind of brawling in this small little room here, which is a very interesting choice. Doesn't really go very well here for Sallad Leuf. They will die very quickly to that. The double shield brawl composition definitely gets a lot more value in that close space. The Ryan shield basically blocks off every piece of damage coming in there. So not a lot of value from them. They will match the Moira Brig from Sallad Leuf. And this is a little bit of an interesting zone. We do see a Roadhog coming out here. I guess their idea is that they can counter the Doomfist easier if they have that extra stun, but it's still a very unorthodox composition. But that seems to be the name of the game so far today. As we get into this next fight here, Potato will engage, but is forced out. Big Shatter comes out from Missile Mage, and that will bring in some picks. Missile Mage does fall, though, but it shouldn't be enough to swing the fight in Sallad Leuf's favor, as LavaLillies is going to easily keep control of this point. Excellent play there from Missile Mage. Definitely what you want to see out of your main tank. And as we get into the ult economy from both sides, both teams have the matching coalescences. The defense at this point does have a little bit more in the way of ultimates. They will have a rally coming up this fight. They have the Supercharger. They have the Doomfist ult. They have the High Noon as well. So they are definitely stacked when it comes to that department. It's going to have to be a very clean engagement here for the attackers if they want to take this. They actually brought a Junkrat here at this point, so I guess their idea is they want to break the shields, but I think that's kind of a bad decision considering they have the Doomfist as well. The Doomfist kind of wants to go through the shields and not really care about them, so I feel like that's going to split their focus a little bit too much, but Joy does find a pick on the theater with the ultimate there. Espeon will find Dudu though, and this is a pretty even fight right now. Looks like it might be going the way of Sallad Leuf at the moment. Everyone low on the side of LavaLillies, and that will be a point take here. Very unorthodox compositions. I've said that a little bit too much, though. So let's get into a little bit more of what I mean by that. The Junkrat and the Roadhog are going to want to break the double shield composition that LavaLillies is running. They will want to pound the shield and try to waste those resources so they don't have them coming into fights. But that doesn't really work with the Doomfist they have, because the Doomfist has 0 shield break. He just wants to go straight through them. So they kind of split their focus once again with their comp choices. And now that they have a Zarya on the side of LavaLillies, they can get a lot more charge, or they can get a lot more aggressive off the extra damage that Sallad has. Brianna is going to find Birdie there with that High Noon. Big Shatter comes out from Fly Game. A lot of ults being thrown in here. No real advantage to either team right now, other than the fact that the point is still in the favor of Sallad Leaf. Lessons will come out here, doesn't really find a lot other than sustain. Fly Game will fall here. Jasmine, good pick. That could be big. Bane tanks get traded out now. And here comes the Riptire. This could be a really big fight deciding ultimate here, but it doesn't find what it needs to, and Espeon will find Birdie while he's still in the animation. And that should be a fight win towards LavaLillies if they can clean things up here. Brianna does find Potato. The ultimate comes out from Espeon. Will find the Brigitte, and that looks like it will be a fight win for LavaLillies. Very, very scrappy fight. A lot of ultimates used on both sides, but it lasted very long, so a lot of those ultimates are back now. Potato, who used their ultimate very early on in the fight, will have it back coming into this next fight. But this is now a final fight situation for both teams. The Graviton Surge from Jasmine is going to be very, very beneficial here because it's going to be the deciding factor in this fight. If it's a good grab, they will win. If it's not, oh, that's a big Doomfist ult from Potato. Birdie finds 2 more as well. And now this is very unexpected. Sallad Leaf has actually brought this back now. They do have, as I was saying, they do have the grab on the side of LavaLillies, but going into a fight with the grab is not the same as defending a point with the grab. So this could be very, very dangerous now. They have the Diva on the side of Sallad Leaf, so they do have the potential to negate that ultimate, and it is the only real win condition. They have the Shadow, they have the High Noon, but both those are very inconsistent ultimates, so it's going to have to be a big play from Jasmine here if they want to win. Grab finds 2 people, and it does look like they will get picks off of it. The Shadow comes out from Missile Mage, hits none, but the one comes out from Fly Game, hits 2. He will fall, though. Advantage in the favor of LavaLillies right now, but it doesn't look like they're pushing it super hard right now. Everyone's getting low on the side of Sallad Leaf, and it does look like they will cap this point and win the map here, save for some miracle play here from the Doomfist. He's going to fall. Here's the Riptire coming out from Birdie. He's got to find a lot here, but it gets destroyed, and that will be a map win for LavaLillies.
Yeah, LavaLillies taking that map 2-1 as we have to sort out some technical difficulties on my end. Apologies. Good job with the rap guarding, Misfit. That was huge.
Please never make me do that again.
I will try not to. It was great fun. LavaLillies showing off a different range of competitions, and eventually that took them to the map victory. As here on Oasis, and a quick reminder of Blue Hell rules. Loser picks the next map, and the winner of the last map gets to decide if they defend or attack first. We'll wait on those decisions, and we'll be right back to you shortly. Yeah, welcome back everyone to Elo Hell GitGud Intermediate Division in Europe and region. Apologies, Misfit, for all the technical difficulties. You did a great job rock guarding. It's currently 1-0 to LavaLillies, currently against Sallad Leaf. Both of these teams have a 4-2 record. But what do you expect to see out of this next map, which is Rialto?
Well, Rialto has some very interesting map metas, if you look in the past. Of course, during GOAT's era, you had the GOAT's composition. But even when we got into double shield, there were some variations being run. A lot of teams ran Bastion attacks with like a Pharah. So there have been some very interesting compositions being run here, and I expect to see no different from either of these two teams who have shown some very interesting comps so far tonight. And I wouldn't be too surprised if we saw a continuation of the Brawl mirror that these two teams are running. Both these teams like to run their Doomfist with it. But something I would like to see them run is I would like to see them opt that for an Echo here. There's a lot of high ground that the Echo can make really good use of here, especially on the first point. And for the attacking team, I think that can be very, very beneficial. Torb is also very good on defense here. There's a lot of good spots you can set up the turret that will get a lot of value. And the ult is very beneficial on the first point. It forces them to play where you want them to play. So a lot of variations that I would expect to see here, but I would hope for a double shield mirror for both these teams. That does seem to be the best composition you can run on this map.
Yeah, double shield, very prevalent in the Overwatch meta right now, especially with the Zen composition. You, of course, can run Ana and Lucio, and you can run the Lucio Moira, which is probably the easier way to run that double shield composition. But a thing to sort of think about here is Leuf picked this map after they lost Oasis. The rules here at Elo Hell are if you lose the last map, you get to pick the next. However, you get to pick if you defend or attack first if you win the previous map. So that is an advantage that we get to take. But speaking of Rialto, which is the map that Sallad picked, we talked about the double shield composition. But do you think Rialto has like a difference in momentum? Like it's kind of like a more steel map. It's an escort map, so you get to sort of set a pace, or either run a composition on the defense that try and full hold, try and set your momentum. So what do you think about that sort of map? Because you say you get full health here. What do you think about that?
So I think on this map, right, the first fight is really, really impactful. In the first fight in that tight, like the very first corner on this map is very impactful. If you win the fight, either team, you're really set for the rest of the map. I really think that point sets the tone. A lot of teams, so like the first corner that I talk about, right, is the very first corner. Once you round it, you get into that like long side line where you can see part of courtyard, and that is a very if you win that on the attack, you'll basically get first point. A lot of teams can they have the time to recontest at like the first checkpoint, but those fights never really go in favor of the defending team because of the difference in cover. Typically, the attack team will win that, and then they get into the second point. But I really feel like whoever wins the first fight on this map gets a lot of the momentum going in. And there's multiple points on this map where it's like that. I feel like if you get held halfway through second point, it gets really hard to break that point. If you get held at first point, it gets really hard to break it. It's like if you win the first fight, you're pretty much good to go. But if you lose the first fight, you're facing a really, really big disadvantage.
Yeah, map starting here as we see the Ryan Diva competition again come out of LavaLillies. Let's see if that chili spam has helped them in the break. Feeder gets picked early by Thomas SP on the Hanzo. Of course, good pick for that long range distance on that opening side. And there's another pick. Both supports taken down. That's going to be a quick reset here for LavaLillies.
Yeah, I really do find this double sniper comp interesting. I personally like it. I think it's really good for the spam composition. The Hanzo and the Ashe provide a lot of utility, and it's not as risky as the Widow Hanzo that we typically see with double sniper. However, the Brig does kind of confuse me. Typically, if you're going for this major pick composition, you want to bring the Zen, but they've instead opted for a Brig for the armor, and potentially to counter Espeon's Doomfist.
Yeah, I think the Brig is just to help out their snipers when they get dived on by a dude. But Birdie gets a kill here, and Thomas P gets another kill. They can't deal with these two snipers right now who are utilizing the map and the natural cover around that map as well as the high ground very, very well. As you see a flashbang coming out of Brianna to try and get a kill on the high ground. However, that's just going to lead to an early bath and another team fight going the way of LavaLillies.
Yeah, one of the reasons this first corner is so impactful to win, especially on the defense, is because now the attackers have to push into this without being able to use the payload as cover. They have to just push into this only using their shields as resources. There's no natural cover you can use until you get to that first corner. And against a double sniper spam composition, that can get really dangerous really fast. Your shields deplete really fast. You're hitting with the dynamite, you're burning, everyone's low, and you finally get to the position you want. But by that point, one of the snipers has already found a pick, your support is gone, and you kind of have to already reset. So it becomes very challenging to push once you lose this first fight.
Yeah, so we see them kind of opting into the poke war. LavaLillies going for that back composition, maybe trying to discord those snipers and get Espion on the back. But here comes the Dragon Strike, and another kill already. 3 kills for Thomas P. They can't deal with him on this long sideline map over Rialto. 3 kills for him, and another fight quickly wrapped up by Sallad Leuf.
Yeah, Thomas SP is the sub on this map. Last map we did have Potato in and really making his name well known there. I will point out that was a very, very big pull from Fly Game there into the Dragon Strike and the Storm Arrows. But Thomas SP's on the Hanzo has been racking up at least 2 kills a fight going forward, and that is exactly what you want out of this double sniper comp. It's a very risky comp to run, and when you're getting the value out of it like you are if you're on the side of Sallad Leif right now, it becomes very, very hard to push into.
Yeah, here comes the flux from the other end, but I believe it got rocked up by their opposition Sigma. Here comes the amplification matrix, which means that it's really difficult for LavaLillies to take space, and indeed it is, as Thomas P gets another kill on the Watchrow, and LavaLillies really struggling. I think they're going to back up again here.
Yeah, I would really like to see them take the high ground there. Oh, we will actually throw the bomb into this. That's a little bit of an interesting play. I don't really think they needed it, but they have a good enough ult economy to the point where it doesn't really matter. They have the Flux, the Bongo, and the Dragons coming out offensively, and they will have the Rally defensively. But yeah, this is kind of what I was talking about. Is like now that they have the control over this first point and there's no cover for the attackers to use, they're just getting whittled down. And by the time they get to where they want to be, they're all so low. And Thomas SP capitalizes on that with big pick.
Yeah, so Amplification Matrix and Transcendence will be online. Both support ultimates for the offense. This is really the only chance I see them going into. They're going into a support ultimate, but Sallad Leif having the Rally and both tank ultimates, and that's going to definitely help the Dragon Strike. Yeah, there's another kill. Thomas P gets Brianna again. Another pick for the Hanzo player on the side of Sallad Leif as they try to aggress the Transcendence to try and get a quick kill. Get rid of that advantage. Here comes the Gravitic Flux with the Dragon Strike. No kills from either. Actually, never mind. A Telelife feeder goes down. Brianna goes down. Thomas P is killing everything once again. I think we're just watching the Thomas P show at the moment, and LavaLillies will get full health by Sallad Leif here on Rialto.
Yeah, and that was a very clinical defense there. I really do like the Hanzo Ash composition because it is much less risky than the Widow Hanzo composition for double sniper. But that didn't even seem to matter. Thomas SP was just getting every single pick he needed to. I think he got the first pick in every single fight on that map. I guess someone can correct me if I'm wrong on that. But that is exactly what you want to see if you're in a double sniper composition. You don't want you're playing for those picks. Once you get them, you basically just win. I really do think it comes down to the comp selection there from LavaLillies. They kind of stuck on the Doomfist for a little bit too long. They had kind of I feel like the Doomfist didn't really find the value they were looking for, and it's really hard to get value out of the Doomfist on this first point because you have to use cooldowns to set up, rather than you can on defense with Doomfist, right? You can set up just automatically. You're just have advantage of the high ground, so you can set up. But on the offense, you have to wait for those cooldowns to come back to really get value out of the character. Whereas the snipers from the defense can just poke in shots and easily poke you down, waste your resources, and get the picks they need.
Yeah, by the time they switched over to the mirror and run the poke composition of their own, they were so far behind in ult economy that they never really had a chance to even get a fair fight against the Sallad Leif defense. But we'll see how they're doing the defense. They're running a bit of a poke composition on their own to try and get those picks. However, they're running the Torbjorn instead to try and dismantle any flankers. And Thomas P on that Genji will probably struggle against that Torbjorn and have to switch very early on. Yeah,
I really don't understand the Genji picking this composition, if I'm being honest. They do have the break for him, but he doesn't do any shield break, and there's 2 shields, so he's going to struggle a lot. And of course, the Torbjorn is just going to poke. He's going to poke the heck out of him.
Yeah, that's a good hold for the dash, though. Gets a lot of damage. Immortality field already forced out. Thomas P getting a lot of value, a lot of damage, and they've already forced them up to high ground, and they've already taken one of the 2 corners they get. And that's a huge anti-grenade from Goat. You on the flank. So that means that there's not much for the LavaLillies defense to do. I mean, they're kind of fighting a losing battle right now. However, they are running that Zen composition. So if they kind of just burst down a target and force Joy out like they just did, they're going to keep taking advantages in this fight. However, that Dynamite gets a lot of damage for Sallad Leif as they try to go in here, but Jasmine will say, nope, get a rock kill on the Thomas P and end Fly Games. Arissa play, the main tank is down, and LavaLillies taking the first fight here on Rialto.
So I have figured out now why they are running the Genji, because they have the amount of times they do just to push a little bit of the way. They are trying to play for a Nano Blade to win. And that means that this Watro really needs to start building that Transcendence. They're going to need it if they have any chance of winning this next, or winning the map here. They don't have anything else they can use to counter that Nano Blade. And it's going to be very, very hard for them. They will be going on. Birdie is down, which is a pretty big pick, and will help them because now this Watcher is in range of that Transcendence. And I kind of think the attackers need to go here if they're going to have any chance now of using this Nano Blade effectively.
Yeah, my stream's gone down again, so you're gonna have to go the rough cut again here, mister. I know you all enjoyed the last time, so go again.
Alright, well they do use the they use the map window on the side of the defense. They will find a pick with that. And it will stall out the point for a little bit longer, but of course, as we talked about, the Nano Blade is online here for the attackers, and this ultimate is going to find a lot of value. They do have the Torb and the Torb ult, so they can use a lot of ultimates to try to like zone out this Nano Blade, but like it only takes a few seconds for the Nano Blade to find value. It takes a slash and a dash, and all of a sudden 2 people are dead, and that can be very impactful. They only need to push it like 5 more meters. Like they're so close to being able to win this map. They kind of just need to go, or maybe they're waiting for all 6 ultimates to come online to like really win it easily. But I'm not really sure.
Take away for the Supercharger. Supercharger is the highest fight percentage win rate in the entirety of Overwatch in Overwatch League Season 2. But here comes the Molten Core from the other side. And it looks like their patients are going to come back and fight them as Aspeon picks up the Bob kill as well on their Transcendence. Up from Watcher for the Nano Blade. And it's not going to make a difference at all. And it looks like LavaLillies might actually have won that massive ultimate fight. Supercharger, Nano, and Dragon Blade, as well as Rally, all gone.
Yeah, now the attackers are in a really bad spot. They kind of gambled everything on that fight, and they just lost it all. They still have the Flux to try to like get the defenders off of point, but like they don't really have anything else that's like super impactful. They are going to switch onto this Hanzo, and Thomas was getting a lot of picks with this, so this could be a good pick for them here. But they have the Supercharger on the side of the defense, which you said is a very, very high impact, the highest win rate ultimate in Overwatch League, as you said. Definitely the advantage goes to the defense here.
Yeah, however, here comes the Grid, of course, not getting too much value. Birdie's got discorded now, taken very, very low, so Sallad struggling at this moment. Aspeon going down low as well. Joy, the main healing resource out of the offense, is down, both healers down. And it looks like LavaLillies will take this fight on the map, unless there's a quick reset and they can hold on for dear life on Sallad Leaf, but I don't think that's really very realistic or going to happen.
Yeah, they definitely, they risked a lot going into that one fight with like 6 ultimates, and it did not pay off for them, and they will be cleaned up here pretty easily from the defense, and this does look like it will be another map win for the LavaLillies, which is a term that has been coined. I don't remember who coined it, but the term fuller hold. You get full health and fuller hold. Yeah. Very, very clinical defense there from the LavaLillies. Stick with a very, very meta composition of the Ashe Torbjorn double shield composition, and they just throw a lot of damage into one small area, and it's too much for the attackers to deal with. Very well-deserved map win for them.
They also took another trophy. They have the 2-0 up in the series trophy, and they also have the Hammer Kill trophy, so going very well for them.
Did I miss a Hammer Kill?
Yeah, Aspeon get the Hammer Kill on the fly again.
I'm sorry, Aspeon, I didn't mean it.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Thomas P coming into that series and kind of just poking going wasn't even enough. He was getting picks every other fight. Well, actually, he was getting 3 picks off fight. I've just done him dirty there by saying that. But he was popping off in the Hanzo. It was not enough for them to get that advantage. A Sallad Leaf going down in that map. LavaLillies, yeah, as you said, even fuller hold from them. And I feel like a lot of it was just that Brig BAP competition was just not as good as the BAP Zen and the sort of poke war in the end. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I really do think it comes down to, and I've said this twice already, but like you gamble everything on 6 ultimates being used in the same fight, and then you don't win that fight, like you've lost at that point. Like you can't put all your chips into one fight and then just not win that fight. And a misuse of several ultimates there loses them the map. Very unfortunate because they had such a good showing on the defense, but they try to get a little too fancy with it on the offense. And rather than sticking with their guns, sticking with that Hanzo Ashe composition that was working so well for them, they try to get a little silly and run like a Nano Blade combo that we haven't seen be used effectively outside of Overwatch League in a very, very long time. And it doesn't go well for them. Oh, did we?
We did see it this week. We saw it this week. A Sparkle against Boston.
Oh, yeah, Sparkle.
Ran a Genji. Flat also ran the Genji. I mean, it's Sparkle Flat. Yeah, you are correct. But Thomas P looked as good as Sparkle and Flata in the first round of that map, but couldn't
Absolutely.
quite get the value out of the Genji in the second round there. As we wait to see our map picks and selection of who attacks and who defends first. Let us know in chat. Who do you want to win? Will you be spamming the chilies for LavaLillies, or would you spamming the frog to make Leuf Pog? Let us know. So we want to see that juicy chat interaction throughout the entirety of this match.
Absolutely. I am curious to know what the map pick will be. I believe I have. It is. Excuse me. It is Sallad pick here. I believe their favorites. We are into hybrid next, right?
Yeah, we're going to hybrid.
Okay. Apparently, we are going to Hollywood, which is not actually their favorite map. They said that their favorite hybrid was Blizzard World. So Hollywood is a little bit interesting to me. I'm curious to know what the strategy is for that. It's possible they have a certain niche strategy on this map, or it is possible they're looking to negate a certain thing from LavaLillies by the map geometry, or just like a composition that they run that they think will get more value here. But so far, LavaLillies has been very, very good in the series. This is the second time they've come back from like bad odds in a map. I want to point that out. Yeah. They were down 1-0 on Control, and they were able to bring it back, and they got full held on their offense on Rialto, and they were still able to bring it back. So LavaLillies definitely showing themselves as one of the clutchest teams in GGEU.
Yeah, definitely really cool to see that a team in such a low tier has such a strong mental fortitude. You know, usually that sort of, you know, momentum keeping everyone positive is actually like due to a really high tier shot caller that you have. But seeing this in the lower tiers is definitely super, super cool. I feel like the map pick from Sallad Leuf is to try and keep Thomas in the lineup and just go for that long range Hanzo Ash double sniper sight line that they had before, and then actually be able to complete an offense is probably what they want to go for when they attack. So we'll see, and maybe not go for the Genji Nanoblade composition, but we'll see how this map goes. No side swap, so we will see LavaLillies take on the offense first to try and keep the momentum going, and Sallad Leuf will be on the defense.
Yeah, Thomas P's Hanzo was extremely good on the last map, and I would expect to see them try to run something like that, maybe like a Torb Ash, or Torb Hanzo, excuse me, on defense. I've seen some use for that composition. It is a little bit more risky than having the hit scan there, because of course it's weak to like Far or Echo. But given how well Thomas was able to hit those shots on Hanzo, I would say that an Echo is probably just going to get domed if they try to run it into Thomas's Hanzo. On the attack, though, like you said, it is a little bit harder to run the Hanzo unless you are able to take that first like high ground off to the left. If you're on the attacking side, it is really hard to play Hanzo into an enemy that's on a high ground, especially one as steep as that first high ground, because it can be very hard to like get the angle right on the trajectory of the shots. But we will get into this next map. Something important to note is that Techfish has been subbed in for main tank, which could mean a difference in composition or a specific strategy they have. I wouldn't rule it out of the question that dive could be run here. So it's possible that Techfish is their Winston or Ball player, and they'd like to run something like that. I have seen that get a lot of value here. My team personally likes to run a dive variation on this map for attack, so it is definitely possible that we will see some variations like that going forward.
Yeah, it's definitely been difficult for Thomas P to even keep that high ground. If we talk about LavaLillies, they like to run this like Diva composition. They've also been pretty prevalent on the dive. So we've seen Jasmine run the Diva at points, and we've also seen, well, it looks like we're going to see Miss Mage on the Diva here as well. So especially when you're playing as the Diva, even when you are playing Hanzo on that high ground, it's going to be very difficult to keep that high ground and maintain that strength that you will have with Hanzo's kit. But looks like we're seeing a double shield defense from the side of Sallad Leuf, kind of what we were expecting, and we are going to see that Brig Bap competition again. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, the Brig Bap is something that gets run a lot in the Overwatch League, but typically you see the Brig run with the Echo because it makes it a lot, like the Brig is way better for an Echo than a Zen is. So it makes it a lot easier to kill that Echo. With this double sniper composition, I definitely would prefer a Zen. But that being said, Joy has been very good on the Brigitte, very good at keeping her the DPS armored. So that it can be a very good pick, and you do have the Rally, which is a very good ultimate, probably one of the best support ultimates in the game, and it will help counter this Doomfist pick from Espeon.
Yeah, so Espeon back on the Doomfist against the double shield composition. Of course, Doomfist can do a lot of damage with the Rocket Punch through the shield, but when you're playing in to Thomas P. Hanzo and you're getting picked every fight, it's going to be very, very difficult for you. especially when you're trying to deal with the Brigida and the Baptiste in the backlines. We see an interesting rotation from the LavaLillies offense going around the side. I do get halted up, but I go into the Cavaliers, rush straight in there, trying to get very aggressive here, trying to get to a low damage Techfish in particular, but it doesn't matter. Thomas P's killing things again. He gets 2 already, but Brianna's pick onto Thomas isn't gonna matter at all, as Sallad take that first fight due to Thomas P again.
Yeah, I believe Techfish had an assist on 5 out of 6 picks in that fight. Just to throw that out there. Thomas B, of course, with the early picks. Very good showing from the Hanzo again. So what I want to point out right now is, once again, we see a comp come out in this match that kind of has a split focus. You have the Ryan Sigma, which is kind of like a Spam Brawl hybrid composition, but then you also have the Ana Lucia, which isn't really the sustain you want for that composition. That composition takes a lot of damage as well as dishing it out. So the Ana Lucia could be very detrimental. Yeah,
so they go for another aggressive engagement. That mage gets torn down by Thomas B. Big just continues to find all the kills. That's 3. And they will hand off that fight quickly. I do like the quick decision making from LavaLillies, but it doesn't seem to be working out here.
Yeah, I'm curious to know if they have a strategy with the Nano maybe from Feeder. Still unable to build it. The issue with running the Ana in this composition is it wants to play a little bit too fast for the Ana. Ana kind of likes to play a little bit slower, build the Nano, farm her tanks for that ultimate, and she doesn't really have the opportunity to do that in this composition that wants to go faster and like do things fast with the Doomfist, get those picks early, not take a lot of damage.
And that combination coming out here from the offense. LavaLillies will probably take the point here. However, Thomas P gets 2 kills on the flank, trying to kill everything on the Hanzo like he has been. But you can't kill everything when your team's all dead. And it looks like LavaLillies will finally take point A.
Yeah, and they do finally get this Nano here, which is no fault of Feeder's. Like, Feeder is hitting all of their shots, and they're doing a good job. They're hitting, they've hit antis, they've been doing a good job on the Ana, but their composition just doesn't, like, work with an Ana. It doesn't play around the Ana as well as it needs to have that Ana get the value, be the playmaker that an Ana typically is when she's run. And they do have the Nano going forward. They have a couple options here. They can Nano the Ryan, help them get more ult charge, or they can Nano Espion, who's been absolutely popping off, and potentially help her pop off even more here. It will be interesting to see what they decide to push into this 5 ultimate spam composition of the defense, though. They will have to play this fight very clinically if they want to have any chance here.
Yeah, both teams going up to a lot of ultimates, the ultimates it seems, sorry, as both teams have both support ultimates. Here comes that Nanobit, they're just going to opt to put it onto the Reinhardt. Espion's going to use the seismic stamp in the air to cover up damage onto that Red. That's going to do a lot. Here comes the Dragon Strike though from Thomas, gets Jasmine. We've got an even fight right now as Espion's actually going to say, no, it's not an even fight. They're going to get another kill on the Go EU. Joy's going to fight back and takes down Missile Mage on the Brigade, but Espion's the one claiming out. Espion popping up with a lot of clean seismic slams on the Doomfist. I think this fight is going to be done as we have a pause.
Unfortunate for the defense there. Unfortunately, Techfish falls, which means there is no pull for the Dragon Strike of Thomas P there. The Dragon Strike it's an okay ultimate, but with the pull or a grab, it becomes 10 times better there. And not having the use of that pull makes that ultimate a lot worse, and it is not able to find too many kills. They do get the 1, but it is not enough. Espion continues her reign of terror on the Doomfist. Very good fight win for LavaLillies here. Going into this next fight, they will have the tank ultimates for their team. Not really a lot else, and still a lot of ultimates on the side of the defense here. So once again, they will have to play this very cleanly. But I do want to point out something that Espion did very, very well in that last fight. The first thing Espion did going into that fight was they pressured out the Ashe so that the Ashe couldn't just poke from high ground. And they immediately slammed down, and they didn't just slam blindly. They slammed with an intention off of that high ground. After pressuring out the Ashe, they slammed directly onto the main tank that the team was focusing. So having that multitasking mind, being able to know what your job is as well as what your team is doing, and being able to do both of those things at the same time, very good play from your Doomfist player, and they're able to help their team to a very, very nice fight win.
Yeah, they did win that fight, but not too cleanly, as Birdie got a couple kills near the end, so they're going to have to wait for their 2 tanks to come back, which they are rejoining the fight slowly. So it's going to have to be a quick engagement from Sallad if they want to take that advantage. Espion's going to say no to that, trying to get aggressive with the Doomfist. Here comes the Flux as well. It's torture on this. It's just ultimate everywhere for both teams. Here comes the Slam as well. Thomas B gets another kill on Defeater, but it looks like this fight probably is going to go the way of the defense because they have that respawn advantage. Techfish takes down Brianna. However, Espion Missile Mage say no, I want to get a piece of the action. However, I don't think it's going to be enough. The efforts of those two players are in vain. However, they did get the ball out of Birdie on the action.
Yeah, they do have, again, like we said, they had a lot of ultimates on the side of the defense, and it does help them win that fight. They almost didn't touch, but someone gets on at the very last second and is able to stop it. None too quickly. But going into this next fight here, it's going to be very hard for the attackers to push in here. They do not have the payload to use for cover anymore, and Birdie is up there on that high ground, poking in shots from a distance, as well as Thomas P is up there as well. And he's been very, very good on this Hanzo, able to get picks left and right. So a very tall order here for the attackers to push into this next fight. They have some things they can use. They will have a high noon that they pull out right now. Just shut down immediately.
And it's going to be a quick fight for the defenses again, as Missile Mage is down as well. So there's nothing much they can do. Espeon's going to try and play aggressively, go for a fix to try and turn the fight around, but it's not going to be enough. Vader's going to go down. But what they did do there is they kind of got a couple resources out early on. They used their Deadeye. I mean, they didn't get much, but they are going to go over to the Diva to try and contest Thomas P and Birdie on the high ground. It's going to be very difficult for them in almost last fight territory. But they will have a couple of ultimates online, both their support ultimates in particular.
Given how far away the payload is, I would say that they have to treat this like their last fight. So what I'd like to see them do is I'd like to see them go like below in the inn, or like the saloon, and try to like come out on the other side and like kind of like feign like they're playing defense. It will actually seem like they will want to pressure the Hanzo and Ashe off that high ground first, which actually is another really good decision that they use here. And they will just stand with Orion going into the next fight.
Yeah, they play hyper-aggressive. Thomas P's Dragon Strike doesn't get too much value. Nano Boost goes off as well, so they are going to keep their Reinhardt and give them those resources. So the slam onto the ball seems a bit harsh. Espeon in the back line, though, doing tons of damage. Will get Thomas P and win that DPS. Show however, Peter is struggling. Good sleep! Peter keeps himself alive with the Sigma onto Master Worm when the Sigma was in the back line. I think that's actually going to win them the fight. Master Worm would have taken down the main healing resource of that offense, and when you have that respawn advantage and there's no main support there for the offensive team, it's definitely difficult for them at that point, and they will get point B off that start.
Yeah, and a really interesting way to fight that is Jasmine went up there on the Diva and pressured out the snipers. And during the rotation of the snipers, while they're not shooting the rest of the team, the core of the team pushed on to the tanks in the enemy team with the nano boost, and they're able to find a lot of picks and negate some ultimates that came out a little bit late from Thomas P and a couple other characters. And that brings them to a fight win. Takes a little bit of a long time, but they are able to get it, and they do now have a minute to push it farther, as far as they want here. They do have the Bongo and the Dragon Strike on the side of the defense, so they still have some very beneficial ultimates going into this next fight. It can be a little bit hard for the offense to find some value here.
Yeah, the other Reinhardt just plays hyper-aggressive again, gets the shatter up. Jasmine will get killed detected. However, Thomas P's Dragon Strike has been getting killed all day. Sorry, Thomas P has been getting killed all day. He'll get two. Not sure if it's going to be enough quite yet. No, the offense are just going to back off. They know that they have fought their battle, and they will get out of there. And they did use a couple resources there. They used their Nano Burst and their Arm Shatter. What do you think that'll do leading up to the last fight?
Well, it's going to be very hard for them to push into this next point. The snipers have such long sight lines on this point, so it's going to be very hard for them. Jasmine is going to have a very tall order of eating all that damage going into this fight. It's going to be hard for Espeon to get in without using their cooldowns, which could pose a problem for them. They will lead with the Diva Bomb here.
Here comes Selchuk. It gets one! It gets one! The main tank is down, however the Bob and Thomas P are going to try and improve their stability. Dynamite going into the back line. I think that is going to catch the Honor. No, it won't catch the Honor. Jasmine running really low, as is Espeon, but Espeon almost has that Meteor Strike to keep him alive. He will do. Watchro as well almost has that time barrier online to help their team stabilize in this fight as they go hyper-aggressive to try and finish it off and capture the entirety of Hollywood. This fight is going crazy. They are picking up the kills. LavaLillies going for the self-destruct coming off in the defense. Doesn't get anything. However, Joy will get two. The Nano Boosted breaks. Swinging the flail all around. Swedish Engineering, 2 kills. The slam goes down. Doesn't get anything from the offense. I think the defense might be able to stabilize here.
It is definitely a possibility here. They do have the spawn advantage, and they will have the benefit of stall picks. A good attack there, though. They almost push it all the way. And this basically, I like to think of this as like you basically push the whole way, right? The only difference between pushing the whole way and pushing as far as you have is that there is no overtime. So as long as you can hold it before this point, as long as you can stop the enemy team from completing the map, you basically won.
Yeah.
They're definitely not the worst spot they could be in. They had, I believe, they did get to overtime on point 2, didn't they? I believe they did.
Yes.
So that is a very good push for the resources they had to work with. I'm interested to see how they come out on their defense. They did show the Torb Ash composition on the Rialto defense, and I would expect to see something similar come out here. I do hope that they opt for a Zen instead of a Brig like Salad has been, or Salad Fish. Excuse me, Salad Leaf. I have a little fish, like a wooden fish thing in my room, and it got out the corner of my eye, so I said Salad Fish. I'm sorry.
Should I like put a picture of a leaf so you remember next time?
That would be very helpful. I would appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely required here, as we have the most professional casters here at Elo Hill. GitGud, don't worry. Just a quick reminder that if LavaLillies do win this map, they will take the series as it is a first to 3. I don't know what happened to my throat there. I just kind of died. So there's another pause, so we have a disconnect for Sallad Leuf here.
Unfortunate. Good thing about that, though, is that there is no ultimate charge loss. This is in the preparation phase. It's definitely one of the biggest issues with DCs is that you lose all charge if you DC during the match. But we get a little bit of an idea of what both teams will be running here. There will be a dive composition potentially coming out from the offense here. It looks like they will be putting Thomas P back onto the Genji, but not putting all the pressure on him to get the value out of the Nanoblade this time around. We will see a full spam composition. The composition that the dive comp will be running into is going to be very hard to break. They have the Torb, they have the Brig, they have the double shield. It's going to be very, very hard. There's a lot of resources that the defense can commit to stop the dives. There's going to have to be a very clean engage. I would like to see them try to engage from different angles. Something we see a lot of dive compositions struggle with in lower tiers is that they try to all come from the same angle, and they don't really maximize the potential of like crossfires and coming from all these different angles and splitting the defense's focus. Because of course, spam comp wants to look at you from one direction and just throw damage at you, just throw a massive amount of damage at you, poke down your resources, so they can find it in themselves to play this smart and play from different angles. I think they can find value on this composition.
Yeah, so this is a similar composition to what LavaLillies played on their defense on Real. So, and this time they're running the Brigitte instead of the Zenyatta pick. Do you think that's going to have any impact apart from just minimizing the poke value?
I do think the rally and the armor packs can be very beneficial going into specifically a dive offense. However, if they decide to switch this up for any reason, if they decide to go to a double shield or a brawl composition, the Brig is going to find significantly less value than a Zen would. We'll have to see how it turns out. I believe on a Zen, it looks like they're trying to run some sort of hybrid dive composition. Very interesting. I haven't seen Ana Zen since like season 1 of Owl, or in my
like Hanamura season 1. Yeah, Hanamura season 1 on Owl is the last time I've seen Ana Zen be used. Go just looks comfortable in the Ana from earlier in the series, but we'll see how it goes. Maybe just for the Nanoblade combination with Thomas Pate, and he seems to be wanting to play this Genji a lot as this fight will break out. They're just kind of thinking about how they want to approach it. I think they're all going to go in from the same angle as the Winston tries to dive the high card, gets brooped up and rocked in the air. Not going to matter too much as this map, the worm will come in and take a lot of the attention from that double shield composition. So they just have to back up and set it out in a good hole from Missile Mage. Will take down Thomas Pate, and without their sort of Genji who's just going to poke up and build that Nanoblade, they're just going to back off here.
Yeah, they do have this hybrid here with Birdie on the Ashe. I would like to see Birdie go to more of a something that can help out with this dive composition. Because of how many resources the enemy has to kind of break the dive composition, I think they do either, they will end up committing to a more spammy composition, so that doesn't even matter. And we will see Thomas P back onto his somewhat signature Hanzo. So definitely, this could really go either way. Thomas P has been getting a lot of picks here, but the defense does have the positional advantage and the comp advantage.
However, Nanoblade already online for that offense. It's going to be interesting to see who that goes on to. Maybe just onto the Reinhardt, they play hyper-aggressive, we'll see. Matorm gets a kill onto Jasmine. Really good shielding there from that offense. However, Techfish will go down for the offense. They lost Nano in that process. It went onto the Reinhardt. It didn't go onto the Reinhardt in time as the Reinhardt was taken down. That was a very good observation. I didn't even catch that. Brianna gets a kill onto Birdie in the Ashe though, and I think they are actually stabilized. Not only against Masterworm on the Sigmar, actually who just waits for Techfish, and they're going to try and re-engage here with Joy almost up to that Transcendence.
Yeah, and I would like to see them switch off of this Ana Zen as soon as possible. The Transcendence will be helpful in countering this Bob if they can get it online here. They will just burn the Bob, actually, which is another way you can do it. Oh, we have a hammer kill! Let's go! I love hammer kills!
Yeah, Joy comes up with the Transcendent to try and rescue the fight, as does Birdie's Bob. I don't know if it's going to be enough after Espeon got that kill onto Techfish, I think it was. Dynamite does a lot of damage with the Earth Shatter combination, but the rally is up to provide a ton of armor. Techfish goes down. The Morton Core was used from Espeon, it will take out Joy. I think LavaLillies will hold on this defense.
Yeah, not even a tick comes out from that. I would have liked to see a hard reset there, or rather a soft reset, I should say, from the attackers there. They kind of pushed an advantage they didn't really have. And they did kind of waste some resources, waste some ultimates, and now they will have to switch their comp very late here. They will not have either support ults going into this next fight because they are going to have to switch on to the Moira Lucio composition. And there's just too many resources from this defense. They can play from too many angles. They have too much spam from too many different places, and it gets really hard for this defense to push in.
Yeah, this fight's starting to take shape. Thomas B does get a kill to try and help the offense. And Techfish is just going to go swinging into that Gravitic. Blocks your Master Worm, does a ton of damage. I think they will actually get a huge advantage here. Like Jasmine goes down, and not many numbers left for the defense as Espeon might try and fish for another hammer kill. And I do like the switch, going straight to that brawl compensation. Not only if they lost that first fight, they have their support ult, so that they probably would have had the Coalescence for the next one, and as well as that they would have had the Dragon Strike. So they had two options: either they win that fight with the Flux, or they go in and come in again with the Coalescence.
Yeah, and I do want to write. I will need to write a formal apology to LavaLillies for caster cursing their defense there. I am very, very sorry. I didn't mean to. Very nice attack there from the offense, only having to use one ultimate to get in there, and now they will have several ultimates online here to push this next point.
Yeah, here comes the Dragon Strike from Thomas B. He doesn't get too much value because there is no Orisa on the offense to try and pair a Hope with that Dragon Strike. Coalescence comes up to try and keep the rest of that offense alive as the honest Bob gets in there to Nerf Shatter. Everyone on the ground trying to win the fight for the offense, but Peter hits a really nice anti-grenade, not only anti-ing members on the opposition team, but also keeping her own teammate with the Dynamite kills alive, and they're going to win that fight with two Dynamite kills going and exiting the fight, but looks like LavaLillies will.
Yeah, and they used the, I don't know if you've been watching any New Hunter episodes lately, but that little hail, or hay barrow, or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
A bale of hay, that's it. On the side there, you can shatter through that. And they get a huge shatter, but unfortunately they aren't able to follow up on it. Feeder makes some excellent Ana plays there. We'll have a Nano coming online, thanks to their efforts in that fight. Very tolerant to push into this next fight. No ultimates here from the spam composition of the offense. They will switch to Ryan for an Orisa here, though, so they will be able to combo with Thomas P a little bit better.
Yeah, Thomas P gets a kill into Brianna to open up the fight with those Storm Arrows to the head. Jasmine's going to look for a Flux to try and fix that fight out with the Molten Core. It's comboed, however. Birdie actually lands a Dynamite onto Jasmine mid-Flux, and that's going to maybe make a difference, but no, it won't be. It's Espeon and that cell, man. She's been playing so well together. They've always been focusing the same targets. Speaking of focusing targets, Espeon gets their third hammer kill of the night.
That's what I like to see. Let's go!
I love it, absolutely love it, but nice focus fire again from Missile Mage and Espeon. They always seem to be, talking well and getting onto the same targets. We'll see if that makes a difference in the next one.
Yeah, I will say this, though. Missile Mage didn't really need to use the Shatter in that fight, and that will come back to haunt them because they will not have it for this next fight. Huge sleep onto the Sigma, canceling the ultimate there from Feeder. Excellent Ana play. They've been absolutely popping off on this map here, and this looks like it will be another fight win here for LavaLillies defense. Oh, Thomas P might have something to say about that as he picks up two, but they will have to back out here as they do not have any tanks in here. Very interesting fight win there. Feeder, I have to give them a gold star for this map. They've been playing absolutely insane here on this defense. Really being the playmaker that you need to be if you're going to pick Ana in this meta.
Yeah, so they both teams just kind of soft-rating setting here, about to engage. Birdie has the pull, but no real ultimates apart from the Nano Boost for the defense. Birdie will get rid of that Espeon toward turret. He's almost up to that Molten Core again, building an ultimate extremely fast. Here comes that Nano Boost onto the line, they're just going to play super aggressive. Bob will come in. Missile Mage will get the D-Max onto Master Worm's Watch Show, running low, trying to build up that Storm Barrier to keep the team alive. Jasmine already down. And it's going to be a good fight. Here comes Watcher with the beat. They're going to go in. Joy's Transcendent to try and counteract this. It's a crazy fight for both teams. Molten Core on the point, but it looks like the offense will full avail. Thomas P getting a couple kills, and it looks like the offense will win that fight. However, there will be room for another fight for the defense to take point B.
Yeah, absolutely. Something I do want to point out, though, about that Transcendence is I'm pretty sure Molten Core does more damage than Transcendence heals. I'm pretty sure Transcendence heals like, what is it, like 250 per second or something like that?
Yeah.
And then Molten Core does like 390 per second. So the Transcendence there, it does keep them alive, but just something interesting is that you can't actually kill. Oh, that's a big
It's
better.
not from the art from the defense. Missile Man just runs in there, hits the slam. It might not be enough though. Brianna's down. However, Espion comes in, very Bob again, trying to make the difference. The flux from Jasmine will catch Joy though, and I think that is all hope gone for Sallad. However, Birdie gets his kill. I don't think it's going to be enough though. Missile Man's the hero again for that defense, and LavaLillies will take this series and take the map of Hollywood 3-0.
Yeah, an excellent showing from LavaLillies here. Got to highlight multiple players on their team. Espion, of course, with multiple hammer kills and some great Doomfist play. But Feeder has to be the MVP of that map, potentially even the match, putting in a lot of work on that Ana, being a really big playmaker. There's the Deadeye Shadow that we saw earlier in the map. Ana in this meta, if you're going to play Ana, you have to be a playmaker because you have to make up for the sustain that you're losing from having a BAP or a Moira. And Feeder doing an excellent job there, getting the antis they need, sleeping out fluxes, keeping their team alive through 5-man shatters. Like, you can't ask for anything more out of your flex support.
Yeah, Feeder's probably my pick for the MVP of this matchup. You know, like the two crucial sleep darts in that map, the one on the flux and the one when the Jasmine was trying to get the sorry, not Jasmine, Master One was trying to get the better of the Ana in the back line. So definitely good play from the Ana on LavaLillies, who also, you know, that 2k mid fight on point B as well helped them out. And then the next fight, sleeping the Master Worm out of the Gravitic Flux. But what is your opinions on the MVP for this match?
I think we got to give it to Espion, who is very consistent throughout all the maps. I may be a little bit biased since I am also a Flex DPS player, and I love seeing hammer kills, and I love getting hammer kills. But I believe we had 5 hammer kills come out from the Torb there, and I think that alone is grounds for an MVP right there. Excellent showing from Espion on every character that she played, and very well-deserved win there for LavaLillies. Very good match overall. This will drop Sallad Leuf down to a 4-3 record and bump LavaLillies up to a 5-2 record moving forward in GGEU. So very impactful in the standings. Both these teams were even going into this map, or into this series rather. Very good showing from LavaLillies and a very well-deserved series win.
Yeah, Sallad Leuf looked good at certain points in the series, you know, on their defense, on Rialto in particular. Thomas P looked like an insane fragger on the Hunzo, and even on Oasis Gardens, that they looked like they were going to take the series devastatingly from that first round there on Oasis. So definitely good comeback from LavaLillies on most of the maps. They looked really, really good. They used to, they just know, you could just tell from watching them. They have a really strong mental stability, and that definitely helped them in this series. And they will go 5-2, and Sallad Leuf will drop to 4-3.
Yes, absolutely. And again, they ran a lot of unorthodox comps. They really made me doubt them as much as they possibly could, but they do take the series convincingly with 3-0, which doesn't really reflect how close this was. I believe every map was within a point. There was a 2-1. There was 2-1, 1-0, and actually 3-1? Yeah, 3-1 on the last map. So a very, very close match overall. The 3-0 doesn't extremely reflect that. But yeah, LavaLillies definitely making a name for themselves in GGEU with that convincing, or rather, the very well-deserved win over Sallad Leuf. And I'm excited to see what this team can bring out moving forward.
Yeah, they used a lot of different heroes as well. They came up with some dive ships, and they look good on all the different compositions they played. Jasmine looked really good on the Sigma and the Diva. Espion looked good on the Doomfist and the Torian. So everyone seems to be able to play a multitude of heroes, which means that they're more versatile when they head into playoffs, hopefully, if they do make it there. So definitely a team to watch out for in LavaLillies. They are a very versatile team that can play a range of different compositions, and that's exciting to see.
My second monitor is currently bugging out right now. I'm sorry. I got completely off track there. It is just flashing random colors right now. I'm not really sure what's going on, so I'm going to have to deal with that in the break that we will have coming up. We do have more action coming out for GGEU moving forward. Don't go anywhere, folks. It's sure to be a good one.
So you... Yes. Which then leads to this. And, oh no, Reinhardt, what are you doing? solution? Elo Hell pickup games.
Hey, you know what? Just fucking do it.
Oh my god, it's huge! Oh! Kill! Let's go!
Open to players of all ranks and most platforms, Pugs give you the chance to experience competitive Overwatch as it was meant to be played. Competitively.
I need help.
I'm with you.
Shoot.
No way, dude.
Go. Let's go. Nice. Good call.
Players set their icons to indicate the role they want to play, then 2 captains pick their teammates and draft the most competitive teams they can. You can also take part in our pioneering learning event, Coached Pugs. To take part, join the Elo Hell Pickup Games Discord, and be sure to read the Pug Guide and FAQ. Good luck, have fun, and we'll see you in games.